How you doing, everyone? I am Andy Malafrina. This is Patrick George, and you are listening to Drag the
Drag
Lake.
Lake.
We
Oh,
fucking did it.
God
First
damn.
time's the charm.
Better energy.
What?
Better energy. We're doing it.
Hell yeah. Take two. We're fucking killing it. Yes, I am Andy Malafrina. Thank you for hanging out with us. Sorry we missed over the weekend. We're very busy, boys, but shut the fuck up. We're here now. Oh, and also, if you're watching this over on the panties page, look at the link down below. You can hop on over to the main Drag the Lake page, and there's a bunch more other content that we won't flood the panties page with because there's that one fuck. What the fuck's his name? Drake?
Yeah.
Just
Is
being a jerk.
it Drake? Is that Drake?
Yeah, so or Davin or Gavin or some stupid fucking name.
Very original name.
Out of the gate, he's being just a part of my language, but a whole jerk.
If I can be frank with you right now, I know I was Pat George earlier, but if I can be frank now, thanks for watching. I don't know if he's actually watching the clips or if he's watching any of the thing, but he is definitely not on board. But that's okay. Hey,
He's just being a hot fucking tamale, and
I was always taught not to say anything if you got nothing to say. Don't say nothing at all. But you know what I mean? Like
no, I just want Gavin,
Gavin?
yeah, I just want whatever the fuck your name is. When I fucking see you, I'm gonna make my point calmly, cool and calmly and collective, and just tell you how I feel, and then hopefully we can squash this like adults. Motherfucker.
I'm gonna look you in the eye. I'm gonna shake your hand, you son of a bitch.
Yeah, I'm gonna hear you out, and I'm gonna understand you on a deeper level.
Honestly, I'm probably gonna side with you at the end of it.
I'm gonna probably
when people say I'm wrong, I'm like, yeah, fuck me. Yeah,
I'm gonna probably take 2 steps back and realize maybe I need to rethink what I do. But either way, we're here. This is Drag the Lake. I've been very musical lately. I had a very musical weekend. I came to terms with my own mortality. But before I talk about that, I do want to talk about, we went to this thing called the Punk Rock Flea Market. Have you ever been to this, Pat?
I've heard about it though.
Do you know what it is?
No.
What do you think it is?
It sounds like it's probably a bunch of young people with there's printed T-shirts for sale, maybe some original artwork, and also maybe some.
No, it's literally
food court.
No, it's literally just Chop. You remember in Portland?
Oh, really?
Yeah, when they set up that anarchist village or whatever the fuck it was.
So it's like a mini utopia.
Yeah, yeah. It's yeah, I got it very quickly. They were screaming about Trump and then very quickly built up walls.
Nice.
Some guy pointed a gun at his face and made me give him all of his money. It was no, it's it was fun. It was over in Trenton. They had it in I was actually very excited when I went because they had a bunch of signs up for fucking I guess Road to WrestleMania was coming there. And it actually reminded me as a side story. You remember good friend Kyle Works?
Absolutely.
Yeah, as a wedding gift, good friend Kyle Works hooked up me and the wifey with wrestling tickets to go see like WWE live. And it was like, looking back on it, it was when he did that for us, it was the one of the like dumbest moments of my life, just like processing information, because like what they do, if anyone doesn't know, when like WWE has like a pay-per-view coming up, when they do the live shows, it'll be like The Road to, or it'll be a like if it's so the one we were going to was like The Road to SummerSlam or some shit like that, or it was called like SummerSlam Heatwave. And I read that, and like Kyle hooked us up with tickets that he was like, yeah, just like look up the tickets to the venue closest to you, and I'll fucking I'll just like pay for them for you and stuff. So I found some like fairly like reasonably priced tickets that weren't crazy. They were like on the floor but in the back, and I think they ended up, shout out Kyle, they were like $100 a piece. I'm not saying that to pick up Kyle either. I'm just like, for context for the rest of the story. So they're like $100 tickets. The show's in Hershey, Pennsylvania. And I just, for like weeks, was just telling everyone, like, I'm going to SummerSlam. I'm going to the SummerSlam.
It said SummerSlam on the ticket somewhere.
Yeah, but it was called like SummerSlam Heatwave. I thought that was just like the version of SummerSlam that it was this year. And I'm just like telling everyone, And I'm like telling everyone, like, I am going to the SummerSlam. I'm having like floor seats. And then just as the day got closer, I'm like watching wrestling and I'm like seeing what the date is. And I was like, that's not the date we're going.
Wait a minute. That's not Hershey, Pennsylvania.
And then I start doing the math and I go, wait a minute, idiot.
Well, how was the show though?
It was, but no, it was like, it was floor seats, which to any WWE show, like you're gonna be for $100, you're gonna be like fucking squinting to see the wrestlers. So that was like first step to get on the floor. You're not getting there to SummerSlam for fucking $100, and to think that fucking SummerSlam of all places is gonna be in the hustle and bustle in Hershey, Pennsylvania. It was. I remember. I remember after it all happened, I took a step back and was just like, it was beyond stupid that I thought any of that was happening.
Yeah.
I just like, I don't know, dude. Sometimes I'll just like, if things, I don't know why. I think if things make sense to me, I'll just like, yep, this is what's happening. And it just, if it falls in line, it feels good.
Yep.
I just go with the flow a little too much.
I have that way with reading. I like it's probably dyslexia or some other learning disorder or something like that. But I have a thing where like my reading and comprehension has drastically fallen since middle school.
What do you mean?
I remember, like I'll see something and I'll read it like that like this is gonna sound like I'm telling a joke or something like that. I legitimately.
Pat, can I cut you off real quick?
What's this now?
After some of the things you've told me, like housing, what was it, 24 donuts before coming home one time?
42.
Damn,
42 in less than 42 in less than a week.
Oh, 42 donuts in less than a week. But wasn't it like 12 whole donuts on the ride home from the airport?
Yeah, it was a half a dozen on the way home.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it might have been a dozen. No, because I think I had 6 that morning and then I had 6 later on.
Yeah. I remember after the whole donut fiasco, there's very little I'm not willing to believe coming out of or into your mouth.
I appreciate you saying that because this is my first time. Like, I think one of my first times going in and out of Philadelphia to do comedy. Early on, when I moved here, I saw a sign, and like when I saw it and read it and comprehended it, I was like, "What the fuck?" So I said it out, like I just kind of like reacted and said it out loud.
Yeah,
and it was for King of Prussia, but I thought it said the King of Pussies, and I was like, "The King of Pussies." And it was just like it was a weird thing of like, oh no, it's because I just saw the two like PUSSI, and I just kind of was like, yeah, my brain was like, yeah, that's pussies. They're saying pussies.
Oh,
yeah. So I saw that King of Prussia. I thought my fucking brain when it saw those letters just saw PUSSI. Probably it added an E somewhere, and I just said King of Pussies.
And then you were like, did they put up a sign for me?
And the two
You're like, is this my kingdom? Am I
crash?
driving to my kingdom? I thought I was going to a show. Apparently I'm going to my whole kingdom.
Holy fuck me.
Oh, golly.
Hat's layer. I get a scepter and a crown and
how many acres does the King of Pussies have?
It's widespread, if you know what I'm saying. King of
leg, yeah.
I was immediately mocked and laughed at, and I don't know if it was. It's a weird thing that I have.
Wait, you were in the car with other people?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Wait. Oh man, Pat, you. Wait, so I
thought I explained that by saying
Patrick. I would love to do my own work to get context. Let me be a detective.
Please.
So you were in the car with other people.
Yeah.
And it was quiet.
Yep.
And you out loud go.
I thought out loud.
You said the words
King
just out loud. You go, King of Pussies?
Yeah. Because I was like,
a delight. You are a delight of a person, Patrick.
I'm good on a road trip. I'm fun on a road trip.
Okay. You should have told the story that way.
I thought if I may, I thought I think I would see. I see. Sometimes I forget that they're here with us, Andy. You know what I mean? That they're here listening into this wonderful conversation, clicking like and subscribing all over the place. So I forget that other people have to get context to stories. I was giving you. I thought I gave you that context when I said doing comedy early on driving to Philly is usually never alone. Usually there's a check engine light on, and it's just
Oh,
it's
see,
just
I'm
off.
different. I love. Well, actually, recently I found out I have a light sprinkling of autism. We can go into that later. And
Yeah.
that's what made me realize, like, oh, that and like having ADHD and other little kid problems.
Yeah, me too, dude. That's what, like I said. I just fucked up, and I can't say it. I can't say the word dyslexia unless I take my time. But I think I definitely have it.
Yeah.
Because like
And then
that's how
also
my
too,
brain. It's really dumb. Sorry.
well,
Go ahead.
it's so funny. This is why did I tell you about the mental health book I want to write?
No, no,
Yeah,
please.
I keep trying to say it publicly so that counts as like a copyright. And
Yeah,
like
yeah,
there's a long record of me making this point. I just have to do it. But I want to call the book That's Gay, The Bro's Guide to Mental Health.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I would read that. I mean, I would get the audiobook.
Yeah, because it's like all I've been realizing this because I was reading a bunch of shit on like ADHD, and it's like, and I've been reading stuff on like being on the spectrum or whatever and stuff like that. And I'm almost just like, because here's the thing: the more I'm learning, the more I'm like, oh, everyone's mentally ill and on the spectrum. Like every single
Yeah,
person, you
yeah,
could be 1 degrees or you could be 100 degrees or whatever. You could be 1% or you could be 1,000%.
yeah. In
But it's
England,
just,
they're all they use metric. Sorry, there's 0 degrees.
Oh, I should be clear. I am talking Fahrenheit when I say degrees.
Okay, thank you
Not
very much.
Celsius. You sir are a jokester.
That was actually a pretty fucking smart joke for me. Like that's me knowing that in Celsius 0 is freezing, whereas 32. Sorry,
All right,
I'm
Pat. Can
I'm
you?
gonna. Can we start over?
No, only I can start it over when I get
I
self-conscious.
did give you power to record, so I mean, you're right.
Dude, you really blew you blew your own mind so hard. You're like, hey, can I bring this to a screeching halt?
You mind if I
I'm
just kill myself real quick?
Nah, but no, that's why I always tell the bros, I always try to tell the boys it's very good to learn about mental health because it's like you might not be being a pussy or you
Yeah,
might not be being a bitch.
you might be fucked up.
You might just have some like weird ailment or some
Yeah.
fucking dumb shit like that. Like I learned recently, what the fuck is it called? No, I do got to give a shout out to Sonia Z. I was doing her podcast. Yo, that's weird or whatever the fuck she calls it. It was very fun. It was a very good time. Go check it out when it drops. But yeah, she was telling me something about oppositional defiant disorder, which is basically you get super fucking pissed off when you're wrong to a degree where it's like utterly distracting. And I was like, that's me all the time. Wait, that is a name?
Yeah.
That's just not me being a fucking psycho jerk off. So it's
That's really
very
cool.
that's my elevator pitch on mental health. Like you realize you're not being a pussy sometimes.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. Sometimes we're all being emo pussies, but sometimes it's our brains being a fucking dickhead.
Yeah, it's also like the weird like cliche shit. It being right, I think that would be nice to hammer home in that same book. There should be a chapter of like, dude, it's a saying for a reason, bro. You know what I mean? Like the shit of like talking to people, like because there's been so many times that me and you talk, and it's just like, oh shit, other people do that. Like the whole thing, like not just
Yeah.
not like the anxiety, but like how we were talking about like having a conflict or just here getting a shitty thing said or done to you just like will just fuck your whole day. Like you cannot focus on anything else besides
Dude,
that thing.
I
And
think
it's like
sometimes I sorry, I cut you off.
it's okay, go ahead.
I think
God,
sometimes
anyway.
I sub you're like, thank God I had nothing, dude. I think
I definitely forgot.
I think I subconsciously would like not share things with people because I'm like, no. I want to sit in this because it feels very good to be self-righteous and right about everything in your head.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you're like, if I talk to someone, then I potentially might not be right anymore. If I just sit in my head, I'm the rightest guy who's ever been fucking right, dude.
Yeah. There's been a lot of things where also you have to think about who you're asking the advice of. Like I know that me and you are similar in our personalities and probably also personality disorders if they ever get
Probably.
diagnosed. But like it's a thing where we never take our own fucking advice. But like I should
No
definitely
one does, dude.
the closest thing to therapy I have is either podcasting or just not recording the conversations with my friends.
That's why I want to figure out. I think there should be like, because some people don't need therapy. They just need someone to like vent to that just
Yeah.
won't, because that's like that won't judge them. Because like I'm always like mixed about therapists. Because like if you look at the whole structure of therapy, they're inherently incentivized to like bare minimum take their time. There's no there's no incentive in therapy to like figure it out quickly. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
they're like, oh, if you're fucked. Now, I'm not saying every therapist has nefarious fucking in motives or anything like that. I'm just saying like there's no monetary incentive for the therapist to finish the job quickly. So
Yeah.
why would they? You know what I mean? It's like if you were doing if like most people say they were doing a job where they had to clean some stuff up and it's like, oh, you get paid by the hour and you don't get a bonus if you finish up early. You're like, well, I'm going to take my fucking time.
Yeah.
You mean I get more money if I go slower? And I think it's the same thing with the therapist. So, like, I'm always like wishy washy on actual therapy. But the one thing I did remember that I benefited from it is just being able to talk to someone that at no point do they make like a fucking face or do you have to worry about, oh shit, if I tell them this about that person, then they're going to know some shit they shouldn't know, or they're going to think about them differently and I don't want them to, yada, yada, yada. So my dream is to set up, so I don't know how to do it, like without people being afraid that their deepest, darkest secrets are going to be let out. But it'd be
Yeah.
great to just like, to have like cheap fucking therapy where you just call a fucking phone number up and bitch for an hour and
Yeah.
then just go, don't fucking tell anyone this and hang up.
Yeah, I think that's church. Isn't that church? Isn't that what you're supposed to do in the confessional?
Is that church?
Essentially, that's what a confessional is. It's just I mean, it's not a number, but it's just going essentially to somebody and just saying like, "Hey man, here's everything that I think morally," because it's really what like it's just like there's probably black and white shit, but there's plenty of shit morally where that you're like, I did this thing. Like, I don't know how many people actually go that deep, but if you just did a little bit of, it's really just self reflection. That's all it is. It's self reflection and just sharing your thoughts with other people. And not enough people do that kind of shit because it's either people don't want to admit when they're wrong, or people
That's
don't,
a big thing.
or people just because that's the thing is like there's so much bullshit with like wrong being you're a loser, you're fucking like no, you were just wrong. Like, dude, people say like I see bumper stickers all the time that say like I don't fucking quit. Never quit, never give up, blah blah blah, never surrender. It's just a lot. It's a lot of Buzz Lightyear shit. Or no, what was that?
I
What
never
was
give
that?
up, never surrender, to infinity and beyond.
Yeah, what is it? What was never give up, never surrender?
I
Yeah,
don't
that's
know.
what it
After
is, right?
seeing the trailer for the last Buzz Lightyear movie, I'm pretty sure the motto is "All lives matter."
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Blue lines matter. Uh, but
Thin
there's
blue line. There's definitely a Punisher logo in Buzz Lightyear's spaceship.
absolutely he's got a Punisher tattoo and a fucking Marine tattoo and like a couple other tattoos. Like it's just he's a cool dude. But I think there's
Pretty. What we're getting at is pretty sick, top to bottom.
yeah, I love that guy. Great haircut. I think John Barenthal should play the real life Buzz Lightyear. That would be a fucking cool movie if they did a real life Bud Light. What do they call it? Live action.
No,
I
no,
love the
no,
fact that
no,
they
no,
said
no,
they
no, no,
called
no, no.
Lion
Let's
King a live
not.
action.
We're not even there yet. Say the character's name right for one goddamn time.
Buzz Lightyear.
Yeah, you were saying. You were
Buzz
saying like.
Lightyear.
You were saying like Butch Second Gear. I was like, what the fuck are you saying?
I don't want to get sued by Disney. I see him in the comments.
Don't worry, dude. You won't get sued. The Chinese government will just throw you in an internment camp with the Uyghurs. It's fine.
God damn it. Uh,
Not
so
again.
but there, I see those things that say like, I never quit, never give up. Like, dude, let me tell you right now, I train usually about 4 or 5 days a week. I try at least jujitsu, and I quit all the time. That's how
Yeah,
you fucking learn. It's okay to quit sometimes. In some scenarios, it's cool to quit. That's my
actually,
bumper sticker.
no.
Sometimes quit.
Quit. No, the motto should be quit when you should. Because, like,
Quit,
legitimately,
and you know when you should.
no, I've seen it a bunch. I've done it to myself sometimes. Like, you persist in something, either you're not into, or you're just because you're like, I can't give up at this. And it's like, no, if it's truly not for you, stop doing it.
Stop forcing it. Yeah. If it's I always fuck up the saying, and I've already fucked up Buzz Lightyear's name enough. I don't want to fuck up anymore. But if you have to force it, and it smells like shit, it's like, if it, God damn it, it's probably shit. I can't remember.
If you have to force it and it smells like shit, you're probably Jeffrey Dahmer before he started murdering.
Thank you, Andy.
That's the saying. I think it was Walt Disney.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that was Walt Disney said that.
It was just like, Walt Disney, all right, now freeze me and unfreeze me when the Jews are gone. That's what else he said. He's like, and as he's getting frozen, he goes, no gum at my fucking theme parks. Did you know that?
Yeah. Really?
Yeah, there's no gum
at
in
the
Disney
park?
World.
Why not?
I don't know. My friend told me that in high school, and I've never checked.
Happiest place on earth, huh? Bullshit.
Bad breath, though.
Bad
But yo, let me tell you about Punk Rock Flea Market, because I was thinking about you a lot there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just looking at my dumb wife, and I'm like, "You're not Pat.
You don't
not
fucking appreciate any of this.
You vagina having bitch. You're not Pat."
Right. I hear that's how you have her saved into your phone, right?
I kept hitting her with single leg. She had no response. You would have had a response because you're Pat George.
Yeah, I know how to defend.
She doesn't.
Yeah. So so tell me about
this fucking bruise-ridden idiot.
Yeah. She didn't know when to quit.
She should have tapped out. No. So we went to the punk rock flea market.
You're right.
It was very funny, dude. As we're walking in, first off, the first real punk rock. Actually, no. First impression, the first impression of the whole thing wasn't super punk rock. Can I tell you?
Okay.
A lot of cops directing traffic, not very punk rock.
Come on.
Yeah.
Why are you got to take punk off the name if there's cops employed by you. Like if you're having the cops come in and say like, could you put some cones up and make sure everybody's safe? Like, come on, really?
Yeah.
You can't get some people out there in vests, some hippies.
And actually, it was really funny too, not to jump ahead to the other half of my weekend, but when I was at the show, there was, on this same topic, when I was at the show, there was like a bunch of moments where, because it was really funny, because it was just like a bunch of, it was your typical plethora of hardcore white kids doing like their hardcore dancing and stuff, and a bunch of big black security guards that didn't know what the fuck was going on.
Yeah.
And they're just like, we got to stop this. And then like the white security guard would be like, no. They want to do this. I don't know why, but they want to do this.
They're supposed to do that. That's the thing.
But no, there was like one time, it was so funny because like two of the bands were like, fuck the cops, fuck the government, which I was in the back like, here. But they were all like, fuck the cops. And then when the security was like roughing up audience members, you heard nothing from the bands. And I was like, I mean, they're kind of like, they're gunless polo wearing cops. Like,
yeah. Well, a lot of them are cops. Like a lot of them are off-duty cops.
That's fair. That makes sense. Yeah, you're probably right about that.
This is like side work for a lot of people, and like either security work or that kind of stuff is. So I actually found that out I met one cool security guard once. There was one really cool door guy.
Security guard beat you up, and then he planted coke on you, and you're like, "Are you a cop?"
I'm like, whoa, are you fucking cool as shit, dude? Thanks, thanks for the coke.
No, planted coke on you.
Yeah, I know. But then I was like, cool, thanks for the coke, bud. And they're like, why are you saying that? Why are you showing everybody? I like the fact that I think security guards are, even at a younger age, I kind of always just like appreciated the fact that like they weren't complete dickheads. Like if you watch it enough times, like I was very as stated on an early list that I did on Spotify, I was very nervous about getting into to pits early on in my, because I was like in middle school, I think, when I started going to shows, and these are pretty aggressive, like fully grown drunk men, like
Yeah.
slamming into each other. And I was a child, so I watched a lot, I observed a lot,
You were
because I was like,
sweet baby boy Pat.
maybe I'll crowd surf, but I was like, I don't want that many people touching me. First of all, that should have been the first red flag of being touched with the tism. But I was like, I don't want to be like just that many people grabbing me, because I was a plump little lad, and I didn't want to be groped as much as I saw a lot of the ladies. But a lot of times they would get thrown into the security guards, and I noticed those were the people that pissed the security guards off the most. Is like after a while they weren't really dicks a lot of times. They were just tired of having people's fucking shins land on their fucking forehead.
Oh
Like
yeah.
they're just like doing this shit. I hate to be a fucking security guard stand right now, but like, dude, they are they are the last line of defense in a lot of shows. Like, because there's definitely been a lot of crazy fucking people that I've seen in Florida at shows, but there's been people that I've seen stage diving that are like diving into these people, and they like, these are full grown men that just throw them back into the crowd, and like they are fully within their right to do that. Like I've seen them embrace those shows a lot of times too. When there's like the violence and shit like that, they do kind of embrace that. I think it's a lot of, I think it's actually kind of good for cops. Like for some cops, like this might be a good outlet.
What, to figure out how to do their job without a gun?
Yeah. Yeah, non-lethal forms of securing people.
They're like, I don't have my gun. How am I going to stop this? I should de-escalate. Where did I hear that before?
Escalate.
De-escalate. I don't like it. I don't know what that means, but I don't like it when I say it.
I actually meant more of an outlet, like it is for all the young white gentlemen that are out there flipping and dipping.
Oh yeah, the ruckus honks, as
But
I
to
like to
throw a
call
couple
them.
teenagers and like have it just kind of, it's all part of the show. We're having a good time.
Yeah. Well, it is like this weird balance, and we'll get into it more later because I do want to tell you more about this punk rock flea market, but it
Yeah.
is weird balance where you see dudes like they're throwing moves that if someone did these moves in a UFC match, people would go, "What the fuck is going on?" But the second like someone falls, like I fell at one point, which that's a fun story. We'll get into that.
Man.
I
can't wait
fell
to
at
hear
one
about that.
point, and the second I fell, I feel like 3 sets of arms on me going to pick me up. Like the second I hit the ground, I have like 3 sets of arms going to pick me up. So it's just like it's this weird dichotomy. But no, dude, the punk rock flea market was cool. So we were like walking in, immediately immediately a very punk rock thing happened where we're going to scan our tickets, and some old like still watches Nightmare Before Christmas every night lady, shitty eyeliner on, immediately starts bitching at a very manageable priced thing. That's
Okay.
very punk rock. The
Yeah.
tickets were $15. And in this economy, that's a fair ticket price.
Wait,
And it's just this lady bitching like, I remember when it used to be $5. And like this, by the way, this is when me and Steph's inner like fucking Republican comes out, because we both turn to each other and we're both like telepathically like, well, then don't fucking come, stupid. Like,
Yeah, no, that's not. I don't even know if that's necessarily Republican. That's just like, I think that's just that's just maturity, dude. Like that's some fucking like adult thinking.
nah,
Of
I
like,
don't know, dude. I don't know. Whenever people start bitching like that, I immediately go for the throat, and my mind just goes to like, well, stop being poor, then, you bitch.
well, not even just being poor, just like, don't fucking come here. If you don't fucking like it, don't fucking be here, stupid.
Yeah, there's
Like,
a
what the
huge
fuck?
there's a huge solution. Don't fucking pay for the ticket, you dumb bitch.
Yeah, I don't understand that. Also, like, well, you remember when it was $5? Okay, cool.
You
Thanks for
remember?
sharing. Get the fuck out of here.
I bet everything else back then was cheaper too.
So what you
Like,
say?
catch the fuck up.
Tickets to what though? Tickets to the flea market? You have to pay admission to get into the flea market?
And I will say that was a little bit weird.
That's the fucking lamest. There's a cover charge at the flea market.
Yeah, so it was at an actual like venue, like an arena.
Oh, okay.
So I'm sure the tickets were to cover like concessions and like like they had to hire people and shit.
Yeah.
And also it's at the arena and the arena's like we're going to get our cut.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I didn't know. I figured it. I figured it would be like it was a set place. Like in Florida, it's called the Wagon Wheel. That's the one we used to go to. Uh,
Okay.
so I thought it would be like a set area. I thought I'm just picturing like a flea market, like a legit like yard sale.
Yeah, I went to one of those in my wife she has friends who live in Fleetwood and in Fleetwood, Pennsylvania, and we went to one there that was just literally an old gymnasium.
Yeah.
Um that felt like a real flea market. This felt like let's turn the fucking stadium into a flea market.
Yeah.
It was
Let's
like
have
that.
punk
Like
rock
we
prom. We.
but there's a lot of interesting shit there. I forgot how much punks like Satan. Lots of
Really?
Satan. In like a, but not in a like we're legitimately Satanists, although I will say when I was doing my when I was on my other podcast No More Heroes, as you know, Patrick, I have turned into a pedophile hunter for the Lord. I
I do
was doing
remember
a
that.
deep
Yeah.
dive into Balenciaga,
Wow.
just fighting for the big guy upstairs, making sure our streets are clean.
Mhm.
And I was like learning about like Satanism stuff, and like actually modern day like middle class Satanists, they're just trolls. It's actually kind of hilarious.
Okay, yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
there's
so
people that are like they're trying to add to the numbers to fight the number of Christians in the world.
yeah, they're kind of like religion trolls.
Yeah.
They kind of
I
exist
support it.
they kind of exist to troll religion. And I have in my older age I have been more sympathetic and friendly to religion, but at the same time I was watching some shit on Satanists like what the fuck was it? Because they were doing a thing where it's like, all right, you want to put your fucking like they wanted to put like the 10 Commandments or some shit at like a government building.
Oh
And the
yeah, yeah.
Satanists are like, cool, we want a Baphomet statue.
Yeah.
And yours is a religion, ours is a religion. You have to do it.
Yeah. And it was like the one with like Satan like this and like the kids next to him and shit like that.
Yeah,
That was a
because
cool statue.
a lot from what I remember, a lot of their focus goes around like separation of church and state. So they actually use Satanism to point out like hypocrisies and shit,
Yeah.
which is actually it's funny. So I get on board with it.
Yeah. I'm always on board for a bit. But also
Yeah.
I'm also on board for fighting for statues of Satan in
Hmm.
general.
I
Because
know those things about you. You know what else you're on board for?
what's this?
Kitty cats.
That's true. Is there
You know what the punk rock flea market had a lot of?
no way.
Kitty cat content.
Get the fuck out of here.
That was the other part. So it was heavy Satan, lots of Satan.
Was there any
Oh,
crossover in those two things?
I I want to say yes. I'd be shocked if there wasn't. There was a lot, and this is where dude. I'm telling you, I think I should have sent you some pictures. I told Steph 3 times. It was like one of the gayest moments of the day. I think I breathed in sharply and went, Pat would love
Yeah,
that.
you were mentioning earlier how much you wished Steph was me that day.
Yeah,
What
I was calling her not Pat for most of the day.
that's probably made her feel good. How was the how so is was there
There's
it's weird.
a lot of kitty cat stuff. Go on.
I was gonna say that there's probably the crossover thing I'm thinking of is a lot of times is like pentagram with cat heads or cat like I am not above wearing a shirt from Hot Topic. I've bought a shirt from Hot Topic this year. Okay.
Which one?
Mothman.
Oh, okay.
Because I love the Mothman.
I was
Actually, I
ready
think
for
I
you
also
to be
bought this
like,
from Hot Topic, but
I was ready for you to be like Juice World.
Taylor Swift. No,
um,
I don't listen to a lot of the probably the band. Well, actually, they got a fuck ton of bands on the walls at Hot Topic and shit like that. Not that we're doing a commercial, but I don't know how similar to Hot Topic was the punk rock flea market because it sounds so far like you're kind of explaining. You said Nightmare on Elm Street lady. You said they got cat content, they got Satan content. This sounds like a Hot Topic so far, or Spencer's Gifts.
yeah,
What sets it apart, Andy?
um,
The admission price?
yeah,
Food
uh,
trucks?
yeah, there were food trucks. That was a great
Nailed
part
it.
too. I don't know
Wait,
if
I want to
you,
guess. Can I guess one more thing? Can we play punk rock bingo? Punk rock bingo would be fun. Punk rock. flea market bingo.
You said that out of the side of your mouth like that was a brilliant idea.
I think it was really smart. You just get a couple of punks to play some bingo. It's gonna be a lot of fun.
You're like, yeah, not trying to toot my own horn, but punk rock
Hold on a second. Let
bingo.
me make a note real quick.
Yeah, dude, write that down.
Anyway, Siri, remember punk rock bowling. Thank you. I think punk rock bowling. That's actually something they already do. No, the punk rock flea market. I would also think
Punk rock bowling is you trying to get a strike, and when everyone starts cheering, you just take their money and leave, and then buy heroin.
deal. Was there a dunk tank?
No.
Fuck. All right. I thought they were gonna go more carnival. Was there cornhole?
No, there weren't activities like that. There was tattooing.
Yeah.
There was a lot of people.
Oh, candles.
Yeah. There was a lot of stuff. There was a lot of stuff
Bingo.
in that realm. A lot of stuff of like, no one needs this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Back patches. Yeah.
Yeah. There was a bunch of that. There was a bunch of like there was a lot of stuff. And don't get me wrong. You see this hat I'm wearing?
I do.
Oh, this, by the way, I'll show it to the screen. I gotta look up I forget what the name of the company is, but I partook in the Satanism.
Yeah, look at that. That looks
But
really
it like
nice.
because I've been really into, and don't say anything because I have to take my headphones off. But you're just mouthing it. You're not actually saying shit. You can't goof on me.
Sorry.
No, but a lot of wait, what the fuck was I saying?
You're saying you partook in the Satanism. You were going to look up the.
Oh yeah, because no, I was just walking, and okay. So here's the thing about me. I've been really into Philly and Jersey specific things.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like I almost bought a shirt that just said pork roll, egg, and cheese, but I prefer bacon, egg, and cheese, and it also felt too hacky, so I passed up on that.
Got it.
But like Philly specific shit has been really ever since the fucking no one likes us and we don't care. And I've just like decided to be that.
Yeah.
I've been very into like Philly shit. And while I was walking by and I immediately saw this hat and it stuck out. So if you don't see, it's the Sixers logo, but it says FML 666.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's a good time. So I got this hat. I wish I remember the fucking company because the dude had some really cool shit. And I want to buy more of that. But there was a lot of like really cool companies because there was a lot of really cool companies that were like Philly themed, but kind of had I don't know, because like I don't know, like blue, like the even in I like the artistic types in Philly because the artistic types still have like a blue collar sheen to them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I remember fucking shout out Ryan Shaner, who check out his new podcast, The End, that he just started. But I remember talking to him and he was telling me about this one t-shirt company that had all these like clever shirts. But like the shirt he was wearing just said, do you remember that part in RoboCop where the guy shot the other guy's dick off? Like that's just what the shirt says.
Yeah.
So it's this thing where it's like he's doing an artistic thing. He's creating a t-shirt or he's creating a screen printing company with hyper specific content, but the content is remember the guy who shot fucking the dude's dick off in RoboCop. You know, it's stuff like that. And that's what I really like with the Philly energy, like with Philly art energy. At least the flavor of it I got from the punk rock flea market.
So it wasn't so much like Hot Topic feel, but it was more like a bazaar or like a.
It's like if Hot Topic got bought out by Carhartt.
Okay.
And they tried to take the best of both worlds.
So go ahead.
No. I was gonna go on to a whole new thing. Did you have something to add on to that?
No. I was just gonna mention like I remember in middle school, I've definitely turned a corner on it because I think the quality has gotten better. But I remember word shirts is how we referred to shirts like that. You know, the thing of like, I do what the voices in my head say, blah blah blah, like shit like
yeah.
That. I I remember the only ones I liked were the ones that necessarily like they kind of like poked or prodded at people, and I think think one of them that I wore, the only one that I ever wore was like a, because I necessarily, like, even early on, like I was a fan of comedy. I loved stand up early on. I was a huge fan of a lot of fucking pretty diverse shit, from like Gallagher to like Greg Giraldo. I was like listening to like just eating it up. That's when I fucking really started. So I thought this was the lowest form of humor, but I did love one that was, if we weren't meant to eat animals, why were they made of meat?
That's a
And I
fun one.
don't know why that one passed the test for me, but I was like, that's the only one that stands the test of time. And
That
that was,
one, that one's good because it actually doesn't give out any argument. It's a very, because if you like, if animals weren't meant to eat, why were they made of meat? There's no real argument there.
yeah,
Because you're like, well, you can eat a lot of things that you shouldn't. You know what I
right,
mean? You know, you can eat. I'm just like looking around my desk right now. I could eat that credit card that I have sitting on my desk. You shouldn't. It's plastic and it'll hurt you.
right.
So it's
Yeah,
not a good. It's not a good argument, and it
no,
also just it encapsulates what I love. Why I usually fall in love with what I fall in love with. It just encapsulates the themes of shut up, suck my dick.
yeah, yeah. It's kind of
Just
like
shut
one of
up.
those things of like,
Just
yeah,
shut up.
they're yummy. Fuck off. But it's
Yeah.
like, it's kind of a thing of like, I think the quality of the super, like you said, hyper specific word shirts, I think
Yeah.
are definitely a better realm, because it's also like, I think there's a wonderful market for that. So I'm gonna think of some crazy autistic ramblings that I've had, or weird scenes that I remember in movies, and I'll start pitching him some ideas. I'm sure he's gonna appreciate it.
Hell yeah. So my last thing about punk rock flea market, and it's a critique. Well, it's not so much a critique of the flea market, it's a critique of vendors and people trying to start up businesses or whatever. We don't need any more coffee companies.
No,
Cause
no,
because here's the thing. There were a lot of coffee companies and there were a lot of hot sauce companies. And I'm okay with the hot sauce company because I believe that's your hot sauce.
yeah,
You didn't grow those beans.
yeah.
You just know the right guy.
Yeah, there's
And
somebody, there's
like,
a vendor. It just tastes like, there's also that big one that got really famous, Black Rifle and shit like that. I've had
yeah,
that one. I've had all the. It's just different. It's just different things. It's like, it's not that different that is that special, but it's like, I found that the Black Rifle, like, it's just like different kinds of burnt fucking beans. Like, it's
yeah,
just burnt fucking bean salesmen out there filling different bags and just going like, there you go.
exactly. If you're just fucking Mike and Molly in fucking Philly,
Yeah,
and we're gonna start our coffee company. You really think the beans you're buying,
yeah.
not a million other people are buying those beans?
No, but this is skull and bones, crossbones, fucking coffee, man.
Nah,
This is
I think
fucking double
the
dark roast.
exactly. The coffee shit is the same as the IPA shit.
Yeah, no, I was gonna make that point. It's the newest craft beer shit.
It's just a way to go. I do what everyone else does, but I'm more interesting when I do it.
But look at
So you
my
buy,
graphic artist.
yeah. Look at the drawing on my thing. Everyone else has.
Yeah, yeah.
That's
Dude,
all
like,
it is.
I've had a friend of mine take me to do two different coffee shops in downtown Harrisburg and say how much better they are than like Starbucks or Dunkin' or something like that. And I'm like,
Can I
it
actually?
tastes exactly the same in my
Can I
opinion.
say this? Can I say this though? Is I care more about the coffee shop,
Yeah,
not the
yeah,
small
yeah,
coffee
yeah.
company. Because the
No,
coffee shop, that dude could do a bunch of research, buy the right fucking machine, and brew my coffee better than any
right.
fucking bullshit Dunkin' Donuts. Because
But
I'm
but
already Dunkin' Donuts is already on my shit list. Because when I bought it this morning, that bitch was coughing and sneezing.
uh,
Give her more PTO, DD.
bring back COVID benefits, please. If you could
For real.
also tell
For real.
me,
Any company that didn't immediately give everyone 5 more PTO days was all stocked full of cunts.
until we stop having to take days off for like having more than one symptom or some shit like that, you're gonna have to like, because what's his face, Mike O'Donnell, shout out to Mike O'Donnell, local comic. he had to take he was like forced to take time off because his roommate Manny, shout out to Manny, uh tested positive for COVID.
Yeah.
He was like, he had no symptoms or anything like that. They forced him to take that time off, and it was not paid. So I was just like, what the fuck, dude? Like at least bring back a little bit of sympathy. But sorry, I was
No,
just
I
making
was
of
sorry.
like
I
those
was the
coffee shops having the same beans as a lot of those. Like they like the independent coffee people get their independent beans from the independent bean salesman, and
yeah,
the corporations get theirs from the corporate bean salesman. That's the only fucking difference is the size
yeah.
of the truck. That's the only fucking difference. Bringing the beans in. You're not fucking roasting those. Shut the
Dude,
fuck
and
up.
I'll also too, I
I
don't
never
know.
smell roasted beans when I walk into those goddamn stores. I never see them taking them out of the oven, shaking them out, or anything like that. Fuck
Yo,
off.
also, who's to say that the big company didn't also create the small time company?
Right.
And that small time company is just selling the big company's beans, but they're another business. They just happen to get their shit from the same distributor. You know what I mean? It's like it's like when you go to the grocery store and they have like you go to what's like the store brand Walmart shit called? Right Choice
The,
or whatever?
the great
Great
choice.
value. That's what
Great
it
value.
is.
Great. Yeah.
Yeah, you think Walmart just is making all of that shit?
No.
No.
Yeah.
When they
No.
need a fucking baggie, they call up Ziploc and they
Yeah.
go, put our design on your boxes and we're gonna sell it for cheap. That's what they fucking do.
Yeah. It's a
You know what I
different.
mean? So it's like you don't think the big companies are also creating a small. Here's my thing: nothing's real and God is dead. So just buy whatever you want.
Yeah. Honestly, the fact that dude, you lost me at punk rock flea market charging admission. Like it didn't even have to. I understand the cops was the first red flag, but as soon as they're like, "Hey, you need to pay to get in here," I'm like, what do you what do you mean? I'm coming here to spend money. That's it's kind of a
Yeah,
thing like I get what you're saying, but what are you offering me? And it sounds like not a lot.
yeah.
And
Um,
we sound like a couple of old fucking fogies, but this sounds unless you got corn dogs. Do they have corn dogs?
no, they had
I'll
really
go
good
anywhere.
food.
I'll go damn near
Now,
anywhere and they got a corn dog.
Here's my thing. I don't care sounding like an old fucking fogey because here's the thing about punk rock. Honestly, like we started this podcast as a way to bring you new hot music, and that divulged very quickly into nothing.
There's not a lot.
But I do no because there's a theme that constantly keeps getting brought up for me is the fact that I love punk rock, I love the music, I love the DIY ethic, but like a lot of things about it, it became a lot more clear when you were going in on fucking Ian MacKaye for being just a hand job. And it's like, dude, SLC Punk fucking showcases it so well. Like punk rock generally doesn't set you up to just like be any bit of
Yeah.
like a functioning adult.
Yeah, it doesn't help. It doesn't help. It
So it's like I think
it's like a band-aid or it's like a crutch or something like that, but it's not a solution. It's just like a
yeah,
thing
if
that
you
it
like
helped us all get through our fucking traumas, and I'm infinitely grateful, and I love a lot of it, and I still love a lot of the bands and stuff like that.
yeah.
But it doesn't mean that I'm not going to hold them to a stand. Like, dude, like fuck you. Like I said, dude, the first band that I got disheartened with was not necessarily Minor Threat or Ian MacKaye or anything like. It was fucking Pennywise, dude. When Pennywise was still bitching about this, writing the same fucking songs about the same fucking issues and going, we gotta fight. We got like who, what? Like, give us like you don't have a solution by now. I've been listening to the same fucking songs over and over. Yeah, they're the problem. We're the solution. What
Yeah.
are we gonna do? Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like, we gotta fight for tomorrow. Like you too, like because you're like 60. You're in your 60s by this point. I don't know how many more tomorrows you got, buddy. So it's kind of like the thing of like fuck authority, sure, but also I do appreciate the thin yellow line of security guards. You know what I mean? Because they're protecting artists from fucking dumb assholes swinging their dicks around in the fucking. Do you know what I'm saying? Like there's shit that like I understand that we need structure. Like it was a weird thing of like I was a weird little capitalist at these shows too of going like, yeah, you can bitch about all this shit, but you charged us admission. You can talk shit about authority, but you love the fact that these kids can't just walk onto your bus. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Do you know what I mean? Like you like a little bit of protection.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the same way people criticize politicians that say that there shouldn't be that they should defund the police, but they have personal security, and it's like what?
Yeah.
Like it's like one of those things that like it's you can't you have to be there's a way to be fucking punk and anti this and anti-establishment and shit like that and not be too preachy and not be, there's a very few number of bands that I feel like have kind of pulled it off that still inject enough humor into their message, or humor with their message, that I think is more tolerable. And I think that's truly what it is like, is it's like satire. It sounds fucking weird, but like punk is legitimately, it's just gotten to the point where like it has, you're, I feel like you're more punk now if you can make fun of punk rock. Like and maybe that's
Yeah.
just because I spent a lot of the time on here making fun of punk rock, but I love punk rock. But it's also like there's a lot of cringy bullshit on there. Like I like, but I'm also very stupid, and I admittedly so listened to MXPX most of my life without realizing they were heavily Christian, and like it was it was blatant. And I,
Yeah.
and so I do realize that I'm not necessarily the person that always, but when the message is so like prevalent, like, yeah, you fucking fuck authority, you fuckers, like, but it's also like $15, please. And also, where's your wristband? Do you have a ticket? It's like, I'm here at the fuck authority fest. But I got my armband, and I also have a VIP pass, and I'm allowed here, but I'm not allowed to that part. Like, it's, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
what are you doing?
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's that's when you realize it's either like, all right, go. It's like, you realize like the fuck authority stuff, like a lot of those things are fun to say, but then when like real life starts to hit you, you start to realize like, oh, if that's the only thing you have in your tool belt, well then
Yeah.
the Foot Clan's gonna fuck you up. The
Yeah,
Foot Clan of life.
yeah, fucking cops come to my door. I give one of these. And I'll fucking kill you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of,
No, and I just no, I think it's like I would almost love to theoretically like rework the sort of perception of what is punk, because punk, it's kind of ironic because it's like punk is all about like changing tomorrow for a better today, or whatever the
yeah,
fuck, or better today for a better tomorrow, or doing all this stuff, and they're talking about like we're gonna make things better, and then it's like I said, bro, if you go full force into that ethos, it doesn't set you up for like any long-term success really. And you
yeah,
look, who are all the most successful people in punk rock? It's the people that fucking met it halfway and looked at it reasonably, and fucking, they used the best of everything else. They weren't just, because a lot of that like hardcore, and I don't, this is the version of because like anarchy, like from a political standpoint, is just like, because when you say anarchy, people just think fucking craziness, everything's
yeah,
on fire, people doing whatever they want. And anarchy just basically, a lot of people get confused with the term anarchy because it doesn't mean no rules, it means no rulers. You know what I mean? So it's like about everyone freely having voluntary exchange. No one has like, if you agree upon a thing like, oh, you're at this job and when I'm here, this guy's in charge or stuff like that. But there's no like, it would basically be like there's no government to rule over you. You just, everyone has voluntary exchange, yada, yada, yada. But like from the punk standpoint of the anarchy, it always just feels like, wait, what was the fucking point I was going to make? Oh, the like from the punk standpoint of what they're talking about with like anarchy and all that stuff, that feels like just an existence in response. That just feels like you're existing in response to things you don't like. Honestly, that's where I think a lot of the Satan shit comes from.
yeah,
Well, actually, no, it is. I was talking about that earlier. It's where a lot of like the Satan shit comes from, just because like that is a response to be like, religion's annoying. Fuck you. You know what I mean? And they're like, oh, you dress normal? I dress crazy.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So
Oh,
it's the
what?
way I felt about. It's the way I felt. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, no, no. I was gonna move on, but then I'm like, oh wait, if you have more, go ahead.
It's the way I felt about like even like the just how, like, even like I said, how I guess actually the first thing was being a fat kid and it being so much into punk rock and feeling like I am one of those dudes in the fucking tight fucking plaid shorts, and you got the fucking suspenders, you got fucking, like, I had a cool mohawk and some reasonably fitting clothing. I had some 3X shirts that I had. Yeah, I'm gonna sew a thing on here that says "fuck racism." I don't know. You know what I mean? Like some press-on shit that I had for some regular 2X shirts, some Gildans that I had to buy as a hefty boy.
Hmm.
There's there's not a lot of like they wouldn't have shirts in my size at a lot of shows like it. So I felt like immediately outcast from the outcasts
Yeah.
early on, even like, so it was kind of like one of those things of like, I feel like I can't even, but then I was like, wait, how can I get ridiculed for not looking punk enough? So it was kind of like one of those things of like, early on, it never felt like, it felt like there was still a rule book with punk rock, which I always thought was weird.
Well, that's what I was gonna kind of piggyback off what you're saying is there's 100% a rule book.
Yeah.
Like, you know, if you think about it from a political standpoint, you know exactly which opinions, like in the world of punk rock, dude, in music,
For the most part,
generally
yeah.
speaking,
Yeah.
you know exactly which opinions are going to get you fucked up and which opinions are you're going to be a-okay with. And like, that's another thing we could probably talk about another day, you know, give me a little more time to sort of like ruminate on it. But like, it's kind of like music almost politically, music almost seems like it's getting to a point where it's actually like they went so far down the tolerance rabbit hole that they hit the other end and became intolerant.
Yeah.
So because you think about it and you go like, okay, you know, like I said, you know what the opinions are. Try to go be a band that doesn't have those opinions we all know you're supposed to have. It's
Yeah.
gonna be rough.
Also, don't try to be the band, and I think there's certain bands that do this. Don't try to be the band that finds a new cause that nobody's talking about, because then it seems even weirder that you're like, you're not helping things that you already know. You're like, no, I want to find people that aren't getting helped. Like, it's like, yeah, cool, but you know, what are you talking about? Like, there's like a song about like shit that happened to people in like, I think like Africa, that from people from France, and it's like, well, oh, like I
Yeah,
didn't.
but
I don't think I did any. Like, I don't know what that's about. Like, it's an okay, but then it's also like, because that's why and honestly, that's why a lot of times I don't read the lyrics, because if I find out that it's like very much religious, or very much like a story that I don't understand, or don't necessarily agree with, or or whatever, it takes me out of the song sometimes, because I'm just like, I wonder what that means.
yeah.
Like, there'll be very few rabbit holes. I know that I've definitely veered off topic at this point, but there's a lot of causes and shit like that, I feel like, that are brought up in music that aren't like, it feels like too heavy, too big of a swing a lot of times. Like, I don't know if this is actually going to help. I think it would just help more if you just paid, instead of paying for the production for the song, just give whoever those people are that money.
Yeah, no, I see where you're coming from. That's a hard one because it's like when you're in a band and you're writing songs, you write what you give a shit about. Now the
Yeah.
question is like, are they just trying to find that obscure topic to just be the cool guys? But because here's my thing. I think with a lot of these different, I was just talking to my buddy today. It's what annoys me the most about all the liberal whites is they like liberal white, and sort of the more top level ones. I'm not just saying people who have like liberal opinions. I'm talking about like, you know what I'm talking about, like some prissy New York person, like the lady who puts Black Lives Matter in her fucking profile, but then when
Yeah.
some dude's bird watching too close to her, she spazzes the fuck out.
Yeah, she starts taping them or something.
Yeah. Yeah, which I will say that video was hilarious because that dude just popped out of nowhere to give her dog treats. So she started off in the right, but then she
Yeah.
started lying on the fucking 911 call, and you're like, you dumb bitch.
Yeah, this sucks. You can't do that.
Yeah. You're like, he started out weird as shit, just coming from the bushes, being like, can I give your dog treats? And then you just started lying on the anyway, that's a complete sidebar.
All right, I just wanted to make sure the band I was talking about that was doing that song was Refused, and the song was Frankenfreak.
Yeah.
It's off of Freedom, that one.
Okay.
If anybody can explain to me that song, but it's so specific about this one like specific atrocity that I'm just like, but I can't, if any it's like one of those things of like, I don't know, it happened in 1955, like, all right. Like,
Yeah, but I
oh,
mean, if it matters to him, like
you're right, you're right. And
you don't
he's
have to give a
European.
shit.
He's also European too. So it's like one of those things,
Yeah.
like, it's a regional. It's like one of those things. I don't think they're educating. I think he's just like, hey, I read the story. This is fucked up. Check it out.
Well, it's like that one time in fucking Florida when your mayor died in that hot dog eting competition. Like he's not gonna care about that.
Yeah, I
But
mean,
like
but
that was a
that
big deal for
affected
you
a
and
lot
everyone
of
at the trailer
people.
park.
Yeah, yeah. That was like, honestly, if you hadn't told my grandma that, I feel like she wouldn't have had that stroke. She wouldn't have fell down. She wouldn't have got her hip. She wouldn't have got that infection. She wouldn't have died.
Exactly.
But she did. So,
But no, the point I was gonna make, what annoys me about a lot of like white liberals is, they like, especially the ones with money, they have a lot of free time and their biggest currency is like, I'm a good person. So
yeah,
they try to do all they can to like do the right thing, but they don't actually care.
it's
So they
awareness.
end up doing shit like, that shoe company Tom's,
Yeah.
where they'll be like, every time you
Oh,
buy
yeah,
one of our stupid fucking shoes, we send kids in Africa these stupid fucking shoes. And then the kids in Africa are like, there's 4 people or there's like 50 people in our village. You've sent us 1,000 shoes. Can we have money and food?
We have food. Can you send us food?
Yeah, we can't eat the shoes. There's too
No,
many.
those aren't tax deductible. Sorry.
They're like, there's too many fucking shoes. And that's usually what happens. That's usually what happens from white liberal do-goodery.
Yeah, it's like I said, it's like the kind of like, and I feel like that's the thing with it's like with a lot of the bands, it's awareism, that kind of thing of like, there's actually a big problem happening out in the world, and it's like, okay, what are you doing anything about it? Like, nah, I'm
Actually,
just telling you.
bro, you were talking about Pennywise. I remember like a year or two
I have
ago.
a Pennywise tattoo, by the way. I love Pennywise. I still love Pennywise. They mean a lot to me in my punk rock
No,
history.
no,
But I cannot do it anymore.
but no, it's not even trying to shit on Pennywise specifically. Is like a lot of bands do that. That's why I fell out of listening to the Wonder Years. Because I remember by the 3rd album, I was like, oh, so we're just sad all the time.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's not getting any better.
You said, I know I made this joke many episodes ago, but you said you weren't sad anymore. I'm starting to not believe that, Soupy.
Yeah.
Daniel. But no,
Daniel.
in 2021, Rise Against, which I like a lot of Rise Against, but they put out an album called Nowhere Generation. And like, look at this just phoning it in album cover. Like, here, wait, let me turn down the brightness.
Actually, I was gonna say, it kind of looks like the flag behind you. Oh no, it doesn't. Okay.
No, it's literally just like, we got a bunch of TVs stacked on each other, so you
like
can watch.
Yeah,
and there's all this propaganda, and we're gonna show generic footage of riots during our music video.
we're gonna show news footage from both news stations.
Yeah,
because they're both fucking wrong, bro.
You know that we know they're all bad. But no, dude, that was that album, Nowhere Generation.
Yeah.
Was the biggest concentration of general political statements of, we got to fight this, we're a new generation, we got to do what we need to do to create a better tomorrow. It was like so much.
It's the same
fucking
it's the
nothing.
same messages. Yeah, it's the same. No, and it's like, that's what kind of sucks. I don't dwell on it and say like, oh, it was always nothing. I really do believe at some point they really believed the shit and the messages, like the things they were saying. They had a whole group of fucking teenagers all ready to fucking go because they were just like, we gotta fight today. And it's just like, they were ready, but then like, you didn't like lead them anywhere. You didn't give them any other direction except for the next one where you're just like, by the way, fuck authority, right? And they're like, yeah.
And that kind of circles back to like, I've been bringing it up a bunch. That circles back to my ultimate problem with punk rock is, like you said, it gives you all these things to do. And then you're like, all right, now what? Yeah. When you really need to like land the dismount, and it's like, now what? And they're like, do you want to drink more beer?
Yeah. Where do we fight? Well, I was thinking, like, I thought I was going to I got to hang out with Pennywise backstage at Janus Landing after one of their shows once. And I thought I was going to.
I keep having to remind myself it's not the clown.
Yeah. Yeah. It was the guy. It was the guy from Pennywise. It was Tim Curry. It was actually that one. And he was just like, I can't do it. Tim. I was like, I can't remember how he talks. So I just
not even a little bit, dude. Not, you're like, oh, I am a Tim Curry.
Hello, I am a Tim Curry. I got to hang out with them. I was like, I went up. I was like, it was like the lead singer of Mad Caddies, and it was Fletcher from Pennywise. and like I got to drink beers. I was not old enough to drink beers legally. It was pretty cool. But I thought I was gonna get like this, like they're gonna be like spouting all this shit of like, man, this is the like I thought it was gonna be like this epic fucking like I'm gonna get a lot of knowledge.
Yeah.
If you know anything about Fletcher from Pennywise, he was like, oh, I wish I had my tattoo machine. I'd give you a tattoo right now. Like after I told him I was 16. It was just like one of those things of like, and you know what? I would have gotten a tattoo from him too, because I believed all like it's not that they have other good songs. I don't want to dwell on just like their political shit. Like they are a very political band, but they have like Alien is a great song. Broham is obviously a great song. That's their tribute to their fallen bass player.
Yeah.
There's plenty of like like good music that's not just politically. I do like Pennywise, but also it's just the fact that like when your brand is fuck authority and then you just have more and more security and you party less and you're like there's you know what I mean like
Yeah.
like no stage diving allowed but like fuck authority. It's just kind of like when there's more and more rules and like there's more it just kind of it fucks with you I think after a while. So
Well,
I just
yeah, that's yeah, and then you start to get older and you realize it's that thing where
it's so disillusioned like
well, it's that thing where like you get to a certain age and you're like, oh, there's no adults.
yeah
You
yeah
like you grow up thinking there's gonna be adults, and then you get older and you're like, oh, I just gotta fucking you realize like everyone's out there. I'm not even saying this to be like nihilistic. I'm saying this just because it's like, I look at life out there and I've deemed this to be true in my mind, but it's like everyone's just out there to like get their own because if you
yeah
fucking don't, you'll fucking die. You know what I mean? Like you're looking out for yourself, trying to like figure it out. And, a lot of people, it's fucking hard to stay like morally and artistically pure the more you want other shit. You know what I
yeah
mean?
yeah
Like
yeah
it's hard not to compromise. And then the
yeah
older you get, you start to realize, oh, a lot more people compromise than I think. And it's
yeah
not even necessarily to say like you shouldn't ever
not
compromise.
selling out either. It's not necessarily just selling out, but compromise. You're right.
Yeah, but like here's the thing. You start to get older and a lot of people are like, I didn't fucking compromise. And then you start to learn more about life and you're like, oh, you compromise a lot, like in shitty ways. And
Yeah.
that's what sucks about that's probably like I actually prefer being in my 30s, except that my like body sucks more. And that's kind of the main theme of the next topic. But I do like mentally I like being in my 30s, but the hardest part so far is the disillusionment, is the realizing you're like, oh damn, more
Yeah.
people are way more full of shit than I ever could have fucking imagined. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? I was naive to a lot more than I thought I was.
Yeah. I have that. I had that actually. Speaking of your bodies breaking down, the first time I got super winded in a pit was actually one of the last times I think that was the last time I was ever in a pit, and it was with I talked about it before the band right behind you, Gallows, the Flag.
You saw Gallows?
I saw Gallows at a Warp Tour. This was after I think I took a couple Warp Tours off. I can't remember the exact year, but it was
It would have
they were
been
promoting
around.
they're promoting the belly what's the belly of a shark?
Yeah, yeah.
That album.
Orchestra of Wolves.
Orchestra of Wolves, yeah.
So that would have been like 06, 07.
So that might have been so that might have been one of the last Warp Tours I went to, but definitely I think this was the last pit that I was in, aside from like NoFX at like Camp Anarchy in 2018. 19, I can't remember. Again, I have the picture right over there.
Yo, one of my worst mosh pit injuries was Warp Tour, but it wasn't even the mosh pit per se.
Yeah.
It was I was watching of Mice and Men. I just started getting into bands with like breakdowns like that. And I was trying my best to like hardcore dance. And you know how they like to run the cables, they have it under those big hard plastic things.
Yeah.
My foot came down and I twisted my ankle really hard to the point where I legitimately like I have my arms over two of my buddy's shoulders to kind of help walk out.
Yeah.
Because like it didn't happen right away, but as we're starting to walk out, I was like, I can't fucking walk.
Yeah. It was
This
like,
hurt so bad.
were you wearing like shoes or boots, or were you like a boot guy?
Probably no, I was never a boot guy. I was always a Vans Converse guy.
Yeah, same. Yeah, so I was actually at a Warped Tour where they were playing the Gallows was actually playing a Black Flag song. They're playing
Yeah,
Nervous
nervous
Breakdown.
breakdown.
And it was the one of the biggest pits. Actually, the lead singer jumped off the stage,
Yep.
past security, and
Yeah.
started running around in the mosh pit with everybody. But I was going, I think, like it wasn't an organized regular circle pit where everybody was going in the same direction kind of thing.
Yeah.
It was more like people were kind of going against the grain and stuff like that. It wasn't too chaotic in that sense, but somebody like ran like right into me and like kind of knocked the wind out of me. And I was just like, oh, I was like, oh yeah, that's about it for me. Like as I was like getting bumped out of like it was just, I'm a mouth of the pit guy now. I'm like right at the edge, maybe. I'm like crossing the arms, I'll make sure because I feel like I have a good base. I won't get knocked back, so I can
Yeah.
protect the wife, protect any other little people behind me. But for the most part, I'm not jumping in anymore.
I hear
I
you.
can't do it. I don't want to risk injury, essentially.
I completely understand. Sorry, I'm trying to find this Gallows clip that just completely. Oh, here it is. Here it is. Here it is. Here it is. Because this is the type of shit. This is the type of, and I won't play the music for probably copyright reasons, but
Right.
so what I'm about to show you is pretty much the energy of the whole show Sunday. So you look at this guy over here that looks like he's my cousin,
Okay.
and
Yeah.
just like watch.
Oh Jesus.
Did you see it?
Yeah, it was like a jumping spin kick.
Yeah, just like
That was a pretty clean kick too. That was a
yeah,
good.
it was just a kick. It wasn't a
Yeah.
move. It was just a kick, and that's a decent transition into the show I went to because that was the energy of the show. Not everyone, like I said it earlier, it was like people were being like real fucking intense, but also if you fell, you automatically had people like picking you up.
That's what it's supposed to be.
But that's when I
That's
realized
pit
like
etiquette, in my opinion.
yeah, my whole thing with the pit is like people were doing so the bands were Foreign Hands, Dying Wish, See You Space Cowboy, and Counterparts, and they're all very like heavy bands. Foreign Hands and See You Space Cowboy, they're kind of, I've talked about it before, they're part of this like new wave of screamo that I really like, where like back in the day, screamo bands were sort of like they were sort of emo bands that started screaming. Now, a lot of the screamo bands are kind of hardcore bands bringing in emo and screamo shit. So it's a much heavier, more fun experience in my opinion. So yeah, Foreign Hands and See You Space Cowboy, they were there, and then Dying Wish was much more of a like not classic metal band, but they were like a very riff heavy metal band that threw in like a bunch of breakdowns that the hardcore kids could dance to. And then Counterparts, which we talked about a bunch.
Yeah.
My most listened to band of 2022.
Yeah.
They're a very hardcore centric band that has a lot of like sort of emo influence over top of it. So
Did you let them know?
What?
Did you tell them?
Why would I tell them?
What do you mean? Why? That's a big. I don't know how many. Like, I'm not saying that they're not known, but that's a big deal. Like to have one of their number one listeners in the crowd that night. I would have gone up right up to the front row and said, right in between songs over, oh, yeah, yeah, and you just go, excuse me, excuse me. What's the lead singer's name? Like you just ask a lady next to you, what's the lead singer's name?
I think his name's Jeremy.
Jeremy. Look at this, and then just show him your phone, and then he's gonna be like, ladies and gentlemen, and then he's gonna invite you on stage. Just imagine, dude, you're drinking beers with Counterparts. Because how many people are, first of all, that translucent to share with them? You are my number one band.
Here, wait, sorry, back it up. His name's Brendan.
Brendan.
Okay,
sorry, no, Jeremy, not you. Brendan. Can you get Brendan? Brendan. Do the Brendan.
Sorry, I'm so sorry. I meant Brendan. My fault.
And then just be like, can I get a set list? Okay. Drumstick? All right, later. Yeah. On the ice cream? You got ice cream?
Right.
Yeah, dude. I'm telling you. They would be flattered. I would be flattered. You wouldn't be flattered if somebody said, number one panties in the mouth listener, like you were their number one Spotify podcast or something like that. You're at a comedy show after the show, or even during the not maybe not during the show. Now I'm thinking of it. Maybe not during the show. You don't want to give them a complex. After the show, Mr. Counterpart, Brendan Counterpart. That's to be. I just want to let you know, you're my number one. That's right. Spotify top 3% in the world. I would assume. That's pretty
Pat,
good.
I don't know if I hate or love this.
You gotta love it. You wouldn't love the fact that somebody tells you after a comedy show that you're like, look at this. I love your podcast.
Oh no, I love that. I love that. We're at the stage where it doesn't happen every 5 seconds. So I absolutely adore it.
I think Counterparts Brendan Counterparts, Mr. BC himself, he would love to
The
hear
big BC.
BC number one.
All right.
Sorry, you didn't do that?
I don't know how to tag it up.
I'm sorry.
No, you're not wrong. I'm wrong. I'm wrong. I'm a piece of shit.
BC.
BC. You just before you play the next song, just look at my Spotify rap real quick.
Sign my phone.
Pretty cool.
Sign my phone.
I just have 6 things for you to sign real quick.
Can you sign? You're my number one artist, my number one genre.
But yeah, so it was an interesting thing just because I don't know. I was like, you know when you're like, oh, this is fucking annoying, and then you start to realize you're like, I'm at their thing.
Yeah.
Because that's what I started to realize. I started to get a little bit annoyed with like the hardcore dancing because it was this thing where most people were being cool, but there was that like 20 or 30% that like, dude, like there was that 20 or 30% that were like, I'm trying to fuck people up.
Yeah.
And that all, I don't know. I always just roll my eyes at that because I'm like, hey, whatever issue you got with your stepdad, like leave that at the door.
Yeah. What do you like? It's like you see it all the time. You see it in fucking traffic. You see it at the grocery store. Like that one dickhead that just like cuts you off, doesn't give you the little hand. You know what I mean? Like the kind of like each like there's something of like there is a common courtesy that you are specifically overlooking for some fucking reason, and it's we talked about at the beginning of the show, tying it back in. No self-reflection, dude. What are you doing? Nobody else is doing that shit. You don't see that? Do you think that you love the music more or something like that? You're missing the cues even. Those are the guys that always fuck up. They're doing those moves, but they always start dancing after everyone else starts dancing because they don't know the fucking music. Those are the dickheads.
Yeah, no, it's because like as a fan, you're standing there and you're like, you have to you can only give the band like 80%.
Yeah.
Because if you give the band 100%, you're gonna get fucking like rocked in the face.
If you don't keep an eye on them, you got to keep one eye on these fucking dickheads.
It's like you have to watch the band, but you also have to make sure like, are those 5 psychopaths like about to fucking because like it's funny to watch, but like that Gallows clip I just showed, when you're at the actual fucking show, you're like, I'm just trying to watch a band. Why is a dude fucking spin kicking my face?
When you're reaching out to get a jab so you can judge distance so you can land the kick more accurately, then you're just striking someone. You're not
Yeah. And now, like, dude, at one point, and I'm not gonna act like this was everyone. This was like one guy being a problem. Like there were just dudes that would like get up to the edge of the pit and then just start doing this. And like I saw the guy, like he knew there was a group of girls right behind him, and he still, and it's like, come on, man. I'm not, you know what I mean? It's like, come on, like, what are we doing? And you know what? Here's my thing. I will say this. There was enough people that clearly didn't have a problem with that I was like, okay, this show is your thing. I'm at your show. I'm not gonna, you know what I mean? I'm not gonna have like this fucking, I can't believe these fucking jerk offs. Cause it's like, all right, I'm at your thing. I'm not
Right.
gonna fucking judge your thing because you all seem to love it. But I will say this. You know what I noticed that you don't see in a lot of areas of life? Like at my job, the least annoying people are the most jacked dudes. Like and then the most annoying people, it's like there's this one guy who's like, he's got the shittiest job at work and he's like the tiniest guy. He's the most annoying person at my job.
Yeah.
But the dudes who are fucking jacked, who could probably talk more shit because more people wouldn't want to fuck with them, they're the nicest dudes at our job. And that's usually what it is, consistency in life. Like, you know, you probably notice it. All the
Right.
dudes,
I'm exactly the same. You're
all
right.
the
I'm super
dudes,
jacked and nice.
all the other guys at jujitsu that are like jacked, they're probably super nice. You probably annoyed the shit out of them.
Oh
Being
man, I tickle them all the time.
You're like, stop hitting me so hard. Stop
Dude,
hitting
you know the
me
funniest
so hard.
things? Abs are still ticklish.
They're probably more ticklish. You're getting right to them.
They're more exposed. I swear to God, like there's a lot of times where somebody will be like basically like just wrenching at my neck, and I just go tiki tiki because I'm like, you're not submitting me.
Abs are 100% more ticklish.
Yeah, they're way more. They're super exposed, and it's so funny to make a brown belt at the time, like jump, and I go like one of those things. That like, oh my God, I could technically defeat this guy, but but like he yelled at me when I tickled him, so I was like, I feel like if he gets me any other time, if I can't get to his ribs, it's over. So just realize you're playing with fire.
But I
Right.
guarantee
Yeah,
you,
they're usually the people that are that talk the least or
all
are
those
also less. There's a lot less movement coming from them as well. They're waiting for your reaction. They're waiting for your actions to react to them. So
yeah.
I
And
try that, but I usually just end up on bottom.
No, and that's what bothered me is like, I noticed the dudes who are being the biggest problem in the pit, from my perspective, once again, they all seem to be having a good time. But from my perspective, the dudes that were being the biggest problem in the pit were all the biggest guys. And I'm
Yeah.
just like, yeah, of course you're beating everyone up.
How funny would it have been if you would have went to try to break it up, and they would have just been like there was not an issue, like nobody else saw it as an issue the whole time you're watching this guy, and you're like, this is a fucking asshole, isn't it? And like they're just like, no, Andy, it's like that's what we do.
We love when he hits us.
There's girls right there. That's his girlfriend. She loves it. It's one of those things like where you just go over there, you're like, hey man, hey, this guy's gotta go, right? And like, hey, that dickhead Ginger that just keeps telling us to fucking stop dancing is like footloosing us, and we got to get him out of here.
I just footloose the Counterparts show.
Yeah. You're just like, all right. Look, all right. We all want to get home safe and sound, okay? This guy's got glasses on. Are you not even thinking about what's going on right now? Give me those. I'll hold on to those. You just footloose.
I'm just going to the pit. I'm just like, someone dropped their hat. Stop, guys. Stop.
Whose shoe is this?
Someone dropped their hat. Who has a Chicago Bulls?
Who's the Bulls fan?
Who is the Chicago Bulls new era snapback? Whose hat is it? Guys, stop dancing.
Stop dancing. Over there. Hey, cut the music. Brendan, BC. Cut it.
BC.
Make an announcement real quick.
Shut it down. They're acting up. Shut it down.
They're acting up. Shut it down. BC, shut it down. They're acting up.
I'm just at the Counterpart show. Shut it down.
You immediately grow a pair of pit vipers and a yellow coat. Just like, shut it down. Shut it down. Nope. These guys are a little too rowdy up here. All right.
Actually, speaking of
gotta
go. Speaking of shut it down, the fucking I think the security wanted to shut it down. They were being no, I was joking about it earlier. I think it was more honestly coming from a place of like, dude, because I swear I don't know how many shows have you been to in like recent years?
Not a lot post Pandy, really.
Bro,
I honestly only like one or a couple. Like,
I swear these shows are more they're like more I don't know if it's like easier to get sued or what, but I think these venues are just more worried about getting sued and shit because dude, there was various times where security guards would just be standing on the edge of the pit just to be like, don't goof off too much, fellas.
Yeah.
And like going back to my original point, I was like, no, they want to do this. Like they'll be fine.
Yeah, this is all they've all consented to. I feel like that's honestly what they need to do. Like
Yo, for real. Like there should be a thing when you buy your ticket, either you have to sign a waiver or you get a little notice that by agreeing to go to the show, like this should just be straight up like you're acknowledging that if you partake in extreme dancing, whatever the fuck they want to call it,
however they want to categorize
if you're footloosing a little too hard,
if you'll go too a little too footloose out there.
But no, it's like there should be just an agreement. Like if you go too hard, the club's not liable.
Yeah, if you cut footloose, you gotta cut footloose. Then you gotta pay the consequences if it happens. Like we will call you an ambulance. Like this is the protocol. If you get injured, like we're calling an ambulance.
We'll stop the show.
You're incurring the cost.
The ambulance. Yeah,
you're getting the fuck out. Well, no, we're getting you the fuck out off the premises as fast as we can. But it's one of those things of like you have to have some kind of liability like coverage or at least acknowledgement of the fan. I think you're right though. But if you're already buying your ticket online, what's the thing? You must read this. Make it big bold letters, very short, one paragraph that says by clicking this thing, by clicking continue, it says you are saying that there will be extreme dancing. I like that term. That feels how it's like lawyers would say.
That feels like what Ticketmaster. Now here's the thing: there has to be some sort of middle ground because, like, you know, the venues could take advantage of that or some. I don't know. I feel like they could take advantage of it because there are instances like there is an argument. I remember some kid got really hurt at a Travis Scott concert, not Astroworld. It was like it was a different concert where they were making the argument that like Travis Scott was like literally being like, yo, jump off of that balcony. You know what I mean? So
that would be crazy if he was. That would be
so it's like
jump off that balcony.
If Travis Scott is pressuring a teenager and they're having a whole venue like jump off a balcony, I could see him being in some sort of legal trouble. But like what?
I'm sorry. Travis Scott needs to just rename himself Intrusive Thoughts. Like he just says every intrusive thought he gets. It's just like fucking out there sucking dick like a bunch of jump off the balcony. I gotta say, I know a lot of people aren't fans of his. If he said that, and they did it, I would just pay whatever law. Like I'm gonna pay for all your medical bills, dude. That was awesome. I can't believe you did it.
Hey, man, people love his tunes. Have you heard Sicko World?
I don't know why that got me so.
Have you? Because it is also part of it where you're like, yeah, what are you doing?
Yeah.
How are you letting a dude get you to jump off a balcony because you like his songs?
On both ends. What are you doing? Why are you telling him to jump?
It's like Travis Scott. Why are you telling teenagers to jump off a balcony? Also, teenagers, why are you so in love with this man that you'll jump off a balcony?
Oh my god! Oh my god! I thought you were gonna bring up the whatever festival thing that he had.
Astroworld.
Yeah, there's some kind of crazy shit that happened. Like I know that there's like conspiracy theories with that, but I didn't hear about this.
What are they?
Anything? It's like that like you know how like people go like, oh, there was 6 skulls on stage, so that's like 666.
Oh, the devil
there's
shit.
Some kind of there's like satanic sacrifice. I think conspiracy. It's a weird thing. It's a weird one. Sorry.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know anything.
Not as funny as the jumping off a balcony. You're gonna end up in a Pearl Jam video, dude. What are you doing?
Yo, that's hilarious.
Oh my god. I don't know why that made me laugh so much.
But for real, it's like what do UFC fighters do? You can't like sue the guy because he beat you up.
Yeah. You literally said I'm gonna be, especially if you said you were gonna beat his ass, you should have even less liability.
Going to a hardcore show, going to a hardcore show should be like signing a fight agreement. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, dude, that's a really good point. Yeah, you get all the. It's the same element of like it's the same likelihood of somebody getting injured, like seriously injured in a fight. People get injured all the time. People get bloody noses and cuts and abrasions and other things like that. but like for the most part, seriously injured is very there's medical interventions a lot of fighters have to go on after fights, like it's suspensions actually they
Yeah.
call it, but they're basically like if you get knocked out, obviously it's going to be a little bit longer recovery, but you have to pass tests and all this shit to come back. I don't think you should have to do all that, but
Yeah.
there's but this is it's the same agreement. Or you could go into a fight and be the other guy that knocked the other guy out. You know what I mean? And just say like, I'm fine, my hand's fine. You know what I mean? This one is just the one that went bam like this, and then he fell down, and then I get to like you could also go to a show. That's more likely too. Is a lot of times you're just gonna go to the show and be like, hey, some guy stepped on my toe. It sucked. But you also might get a fucking elbow in your sternum.
Yeah.
You
Well,
might get the wind knocked out of you. So sit
yeah.
it out and shut the fuck up. Don't you can't sue us.
Well, I think about I've heard those stories where like a kid will jump off the stage and like land on their neck wrong and then have to
Yeah.
go to the hospital and they'll like sue the venue. And you're like,
Nah. Nah.
you ran and
You let
jumped.
me. You let me do that.
Yeah, it's
How'd
like
you let
dog.
me do that?
It's like dog. And also too, like, I don't even a lot of venues are fucking jerk offs. You know what I mean? I'm
Yeah,
not
yeah.
even like defending venues, but I'm just like from a sheer like who's right and who's wrong. It's like you chose to go at a full sprint and jump off of a stage.
In the middle of songs. You
You were
dumbass.
being very reckless.
You fucking idiot.
That's not the venue's fault. It's
Right.
it's not.
It's,
But yeah, speaking of venue, I did think it was at Asbury Lanes.
Mhm.
Yeah, it was I don't know. Like there's like the
Great.
security what?
It was great.
It was fine. The venue was fine. No, because like the security just like clearly didn't get the memo on what the band was like.
Yeah, yeah.
And I was like, guys, it's not like, you know, and they were honestly too, like, I'm joking about like the tough guys in the pit and shit, not understanding that, but like there were definite parts where the security was being too much, and it was just like a bummer. Like the you just saw everyone was just getting pissed because they're like, let us do the thing we came here to do.
Yeah, you don't want to have to worry about like getting because that's the thing is like it is a weird. I know that it looks fucking crazy, but I totally understand what the, you know what I mean. I'm not somebody that will yuck your yum. You are able to express yourself. Interpretive dance. If people are allowed to do interpretive dance on fucking NBC primetime, on like let's dance and shit, that shit is fucking weird as shit. In my opinion, it's fucking weird as fuck. So why is doing this shit or fucking spin kicking and any like that's just another form of expression. It literally is like the more emotional you get, the cooler it looks, the more full the pit is. I have yet to see, or especially in person, one of those kind of pits. And I don't know what to call it, like hardcore or I don't like one of those where they're doing that shit. It's usually
they're fighting ninjas.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah, when they're all get in there and they start fucking sparring with each other and shit.
Just spin kicking and shit.
Like I haven't been to one of those that like it's like improv. I haven't been to a good one yet. Live.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like the same thing. And I don't know if that's necessarily security, but I think also that's just a lot of people going like, I don't want to get fucking elbowed in the nose. It's not worth it to do that. So the few people that want to do it, I guess, yeah, give them a little bit of space. If they start bumping into each other or, you know what I mean, then,
Well, no, like when you need to
like
get,
you said, this is the space to do it. Let them do it in this space. If they start fucking with a bunch of people on the side, like, yeah, you can say, hey, back
well,
in there, guys.
Here's the thing is like, first off, like, let your staff know what kind of fucking bands are there.
Yeah, give them a compilation.
And you can like, you can tell when a dude goes past like just dancing to like being a fucking problem.
Yeah.
Like, and there also too, on top of that, there were parts where I don't get how people get confused with this because they're like like 2 songs in, some dude was doing his move and accidentally hit the guy. This was actually impressive. He accidentally hit the guy, and then the dude runs up on him and just starts wailing on him. Just starts wailing on him.
When it's out of a rhythm, then you're like, oh shit, that's
oh yeah, no, like there was no dancing, there was just punching. Yeah. And then the other guy's like, what the fuck? So they're kind of like doing it was like a hockey fight, because then a bunch of dudes like kind of go around everyone starts yelling, and then within seconds, the guy who starts getting hit is like grabbing him, like, what are you doing? What are you doing? You know what? Like, he's essentially yelling at him, like, you know what you know what we're doing here? This is the dancing. Like, this is what we're doing. And then he like angrily like has him right here, like, calm the fuck down. And then they do this like big hug, and I was like, damn, that got resolved real quick. Good job, guys. That was like really
right
impressive.
up your alley. Yeah, that seems like your kind of solution to a problem. Like fucking scream at somebody, hold their head to your head, just go like,
yeah. Why are we fighting, brother?
why are we fighting?
Yeah, 100%.
If you could have only ended it with a tender kiss, that would have been the best ending. Can you imagine if after that you just grabs the back of his head and you just start going?
Well, no, they're in the pit, so they'd have to do a quick like, you good, cool, and then fucking hop back in. This was the other part that fucking was insane to me. You remember how much beers were at the Knock Loose show I told you about?
Yeah, that was nuts, dude.
Bro, you want to know how much they were at this fucking place? And this was at like a bowl.
About too. What kind of beer? Tell me what kind of beer first.
Just standard beers. You get a Bud Light, Miller Light. They had some IPAs. You can get a High Noon, which good pull. But a lot of the beers. And now I left my wallet in the car. And I was also like, I left my wallet in the car, and they didn't let you like go out to like go back to your car.
Yeah.
So I was like, that's probably for the best. I'm low on cash this paycheck. I don't need to be fucking getting hammered on a Sunday.
Yeah.
So I was like, this is probably for the best. I will say, sidebar, live music is way better fucked up. I really should have drank like a lot.
I could have told you that.
That was like my first sober show in a while.
Yeah.
And it really, like, it didn't help. It made made the show harder. Like every little thing was more annoying.
Yeah, because still like, everybody else is not on a budget. Everybody else is fucking drinking and shit like that. They're we're here to see.
Yeah, that was a big regret. I really should have drank, or one of my buddies had a pen. I'm still, you know what I mean? I'm still tiptoeing back into the gange. Although
weed at concerts is nice. Sorry, you may be about to tell me the exact opposite, but weed at concerts, especially the pen or something like that, that's what usually the security guards of that shows I was at were in the crowd for, was trying to find catching people smoking weed in the crowd.
Well, that was the funny part. One of my buddies there had a weed pen, and he was like freaking out. He's like, "Oh shit, I have my pen." And then the guy's like, "What is this?" And he's like, "It's nothing." He's like, "No, there's something in your pot. What is this?" And he's like, "It's my weed pen." He's like, "Oh, okay." And it's like, "Oh yeah, we live in New Jersey. It's legal."
Yeah.
It's like we're all in our 30s, and weed's still illegal in our heads.
Yeah, we're still scared. We're still scared of getting in trouble.
We're still. So that was really funny. But no, yeah, last night, I did a show at Helium. Which shout out to the Durag and Deer Tag boys. They put on it. They did that 2 off the top. I'm gonna ask Drew for that video. We ended up fucking bodying our set. That was a fun fucking show.
Yeah.
But I was driving home with Tyler Langoles, however the fuck you say his name, and I was hitting his weed pen, and it was making me laugh because we were just listening to Tyler's good for some fucking screamo and shit on the way home. And I was like hitting the weed pen. I was like, hell yeah, dude. Fucking screamo still sounds good on this shit. Let's go. You know what I mean? Like that was making me laugh. I was like, am I just gonna want to listen to fucking like Pink Floyd? I'm like, no, you're just gonna want to listen to the shit you still like. It's just gonna sound better because you're high.
Also, you will get, I think there is an element sometimes where you do kind of get a little bit more out of it. Like there's like a little bit more, like you hear like a certain line that you're like, oh shit, it makes a lot more sense now. Or like a lot of other things. Sorry.
Well, I think what happens is I want to watch more of it. I was watching this documentary on Netflix about it was like a 4-parter. We watched one on LSD and one on whatever the fuck ecstasy is. What's the 4-letter MDMA, yeah. And it was saying what it does is a lot of times there's these walls that you have up when you're sober that keep you from sort of like going into certain areas, maybe mentally or whatever. And a lot of times, like MDMA takes down these like self-conscious walls, so it makes you just focus on love and stuff like that, and makes you like the most happy. And it's like, yeah, I'm like, that's probably why getting a little high at a concert fucking rules, because it takes all that like little self-conscious shit, and you're just like, yeah, I can just focus on this band now.
Yeah,
and I'm definitely considering. Because I'm still not at a stage where I can function very well if I'm too high. out in public, but I'm definitely thinking about getting a little high at the next concert I go to, Patrick.
Maybe even a couple of edibles too.
I told you about that.
I know, try that, but like, oh yeah, I guess you can't really time that. But you would have to
Yeah,
do it on an
nah.
empty stomach, and then you're gonna be drinking. You don't want to drink on an empty stomach. But I will tell you this: those expensive fucking beers. You never told me the price, by the way, at this show, or actually, you didn't know. You didn't know because you didn't buy any, right?
Well, no, I asked my buddy got one, and I'm always curious how much they charge at venues. Bro,
Yeah.
it was a 16 ouncer,
Yeah.
just a fucking pounder, 16-ounce can. He said it was $12 fucking dollars.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah.
That's almost $1 an ounce.
But I was like, they didn't even give you the fucking 24-ounce can. They gave you the 16-ounce can. That's psychotic. Like, that's enough for me to be like, yo, do not go to Asbury Lanes. That's crazy.
Yeah. At that price, they should not open it for you. You should still have the option of using it as a weapon. That's fucked up.
Yo, for real. Fuck
That's almost
that,
expensive
dude.
ammo.
That's fucking insane. If I hand you $12 and you hand me a 16-ounce can,
I'm gonna go, where's the rest?
I'm
Where's
gonna
the other
go.
one?
I'm gonna go. Give me the other can.
Yeah.
I
where's the-
paid for at least 2 cans.
This is crazy. That's the thing. Like, there might be like at a hockey game or something like that. You may pay, again, I think it's like probably $12, $13, maybe. Last time I went, it's been a long time since I've been to a game in Tampa, but I remember getting, and they were like the either 24 or like 30. They're like the big motherfucking, I think probably 24 ounce or whatever's. And like that's at a
Cans?
fucking, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And
Yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah.
and like import shit too, like not from Canada, like Molson or Labatt, but that's like those are good fucking beers to get 24 ounces of. Like that's fucking crazy that for like a Miller or something like that, you're gonna pay fucking $12 for a 16-ounce can.
It was psychotic. Yeah. What else happened? Oh, I accidentally walked into the women's room. That was very frightening.
I thought for sure the next thing you were gonna be like, and by the way, there was a draft. We're such old fucking bitches, dude. We're just like, it was $16 a beer.
No, fuck you. In this economy,
It's fucked
suck
up,
my
dude.
dick. Fuck you. No.
I agree with you. I'm just
As
saying,
a man who
I'm being
needs beer to have
self-deprecating.
fun,
Right.
when people say, "Oh, you need to drink to have fun," I fucking grab them like that dude in the pit, and I go, "You're goddamn right. Where's the beer?
Give me some fucking beer."
Nah, I technically don't need beer to have fun, but why wouldn't you? You fucking loser.
If you have the option, like, because that's the thing is like,
Thank you, dude.
there's people there's food vendors at a lot of these shows, and I never understood that of like, who didn't eat dinner before coming here? What's going on? Like, you're gonna spend, because that's the thing is you're gonna get fucking shitty microwave pizza. This cat is fucking pissing me off. You're gonna get shitty microwave pizza, and you're gonna spend fucking $18 on it, and you're gonna
Yeah.
get shitty fries or shitty whatever. Like, it was never good food, and I never ate at a fucking concert. Are you fucking stupid?
I
But
probably
somebody does. That's the thing.
knowing
It's like,
me, I probably did, and I feel like I remember eating it and it all just tasting like bowling alley food.
yeah, it sucks. It's always terrible. It always sucks, and it's one of those things. But some people like that. So if you're gonna eat some fucking nachos at the thing, don't fucking like. Why do you gotta what? Because that's the thing is you can also, a lot of times people go like, all right, well, I'll get a lower quality beer so I can get more beers. It's always a compromise with beers. You never get. I've never heard of somebody going to a venue or going to a place and being like, the beer selection, what, like, never anything positive. It's always a negative because it sucks, because there's always a compromise. They don't have the beer you like, or the beer you like is like twice as much, or they don't have. Dude, I got handed like a almost like room temp can once at a show, a show once, and I was like, I was like, do you have any colder ones? And he's like, no, I don't. And I was like, all right, can I get something, like, can I get water then? Because it's like, I'm not gonna spend $13 on a fucking, or however much it was at that time, for a lukewarm fucking beer. It's not even a beer I want in the first place. I could buy a 12 pack of the beer I want with the same price. And that's where, even that's what I'm saying. It sounds like we're old fogies, but I've been bitching about this since I was fucking 13 years old.
Fucking Pennywise was charging you $10 a can in their
Like,
green
what are you
room.
busting my balls for a land shark? Fuck you, dude. Give me a
Well,
rolling
no,
rock.
I don't even make that argument of like I could get this at a beer distributor for cheaper. And you're like, yeah, but you're not at
But
that.
you're not there. And
You're
there
at a
and
fun
Pennywise isn't there.
you're at a fun place.
Right.
So drinks are a premium here. So they're gonna be more. But I'm just saying, it's like, can we do this where you're not full blown dry butt fucking me?
Right. That's what I'm saying. Don't give me a warm one, dude. At least have them ice goddamn cold for us. Like, what the
Yeah.
fuck, dude? Like, you gotta be a little bit more proactive. Like, cause we have to be paying for something. Either at least the service. At least be like, make eye contact with me, dickhead. Yeah, I don't know. Like you're giving me a room temp fucking Bud Light at $100 a can. Yeah, I raised the price a little bit. Or
I guess we're
start selling drugs, other drugs that you're like sell hot chocolate. Got to have sugar in there. You got the alcohol. Sell a little bit of cocaine. What else? Mushrooms. You know what I mean? Like,
we just gotta start a venue and call it cheap beer.
oh, dude, that's a yeah. That's a smart and actually have cheap beer, or not have cheap beer.
Or we'd have to call it cheaper beer.
Cheaper
Because
beer.
we have to make it very clear. We're not just making the beer cheap. We're just not fucking you as much.
We're not serving you cheap.
Because I think that's
We're
what
serving
like
you beer cheap.
that's like Wawa's business model.
Delicious sandwiches at a gas station. I love it.
Yeah, but they're like, dude, like how much does that no surge charge at the ATM?
Yeah.
Like how much of that does the heavy lifting? And
Dude.
they're only saving a couple bucks per transaction. They're only
Also
saving
free
like
air.
I mean that is clutch though.
Yeah, that's fucking every time because that's a true northern.
I only fill my tires at Wawa or Quick Check.
Yeah, I go to Sheets sometimes because that's all usually available to me. But if I can find a Wawa, I'll drive 45 minutes out of the way to go there instead.
That's
The
crazy.
tire's already flat. What am I gonna do? It's not getting any flatter.
That's actually fucking crazy to do.
Why? I drove to DC not too long ago just to buy legal weed.
Well, no, that rules.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
How far are you from DC?
Huh?
How far are you? What's your address?
Mine?
Say it on air. Do it right now.
Hold on, let me just do a screen share real quick on my Google Maps.
How far are you from DC?
Depending on traffic, but about like 2 hours or so.
Oh, okay.
A little over 2 hours.
And you're what, like 3 from Jersey?
Probably, yeah. Probably about the same. If I can multitask, like I'm headed into the city tomorrow night for a show in Philly, and it's not far from Jersey, so I might try to find a pop over if I can, or deal with some people on the streets. You know what I mean? I'm a dirty scumbag. I'm still not on the medical list because I'm an asshole, but I also live close enough to recreational states that I can just I also like to like process my thoughts in the car, listen to music in the car. I went over the NoFX album like 4, 5, 6, 7 times on that trip.
Oh no, car. That's why I like sometimes driving the shit alone. Car is good thinking time.
Yeah, it's actually that's a lot of times where I like to write the most too, and it's usually on the way home from a mic, going like,
it's just you.
So bad.
It's just you with your knees on the wheel with a whole like a quill and paper.
It's just like just driving with my knees.
All right.
Illegal.
Let's wrap this up in a minute. Oh, last thing I wanted to say about the show. Counterparts ruled, but I do give CU Space Cowboy the gold star of the night.
Oh, okay.
They were now Dying Wish, Dying Wish and Foreign Hands also did a real good job of like stage presence. But CU Space Cowboy just because it like Counterparts was really good, and I knew more of their songs. But now I know one of the guitarists, they said he was sick, and like the guitarists weren't doing a lot of movement, and the lead singer was kind of moving a little bit, but they were more
BC?
just like what?
BC?
Yeah, BC. They were more just like playing the song, but like CU Space Cowboy was really like they were there, they were matching their they were doing the fucking shit when the breakdown comes. They throw their guitar up, everyone bangs at the same time. They were doing all the dumb shit like that where
antics.
It's like what?
Yeah, I love antics. That's one of my favorite things.
Well, because it's like, here's my thing.
It's a performance, guy.
Well, no, here's my thing. It's what I always got annoyed with. Everyone would make fun of Fall Out Boy and all these other emo bands for like doing bitch tosses and shit. Here's my fucking thing, guys. I'm gonna let you in on a secret. I already know what the fucking songs sound like. You just have to get them close enough.
Hey, come here.
Fucking dance for me.
Do something fucking else.
But
Change
for
it up a
real,
little bit. Yeah.
for real though, like I'm here for a show.
Yeah.
I'm not, because it's like also half the bands I fucking listen to aren't goddamn Mozarts on their instruments.
Yeah, and
I'm not either.
I want to hear that. Like I also like to see, like I was talking earlier about, like when people are fucking in the pit. It's like an expression of that. Like I want to see that they enjoy playing these songs.
Yeah.
That's a cool thing to see when, especially like there's a clip of Every Time I Die I have that I posted on my Instagram fucking years and years ago of just like a little clip I was on. This is like also, this was probably not long after that Gallows interaction actually, because I was on the second floor. I was on the balcony. I didn't jump, but I was on the balcony at State Theater, and I was like, I was and because I was like, this is going to be a show where I sit. I'm going to sit and just enjoy the show. And I enjoyed the fuck out of it because they like you said, when the song goes like this, they all go like this, or like the lights are going like,
bro,
they put thought into their performance. Like it's a great show.
It's like little shit. Like when I went to go see Run the Jewels, like they jumped around a bunch. It'd be little shit where like right before a big part, they would do a goofy thing where they're cleaning each other's fucking shirt off, and then they do like back to back like it's a cop movie. Love it. Fucking dumb, but bro, Dying Wish.
No, don't even do that. It's not dumb. It's fucking cool.
It's fucking cool in a very unironic way.
Yes, I really mean that. Like it's one of those things of like, I don't like it because it's lame, or like, oh, it's just my thing. Like, no, dude, they are putting like more into this. They're doing the thing, like you said. I think that's a great point for a lot of people that don't even think about that. Why would you just pay $700 for a nosebleed seat to see Bruce Springsteen if you already know all the songs and you're not even sitting close enough to like see him perform them on the, like, there's got to be something else.
Yeah, no, that's a great.
If he's not telling jokes, or if he's not doing little knee slides across the stage, or something different than you've done before.
Dude, that's such a good point, because it's like when you're in the nosebleeds, you're like, you'd have more fun listening to a live album.
Yeah, go. What are you doing? Go.
Bro, I knew that
fucking joint in your car, listen to this, and just like fucking have the windows down. Like, just go do the thing you really love doing, but do it a little bit somewhere else with like a good stereo.
Yo, let me tell you this.
So much more.
Let me tell you this. This dude who's like a family friend to my wife's family, he went to WrestleMania when it was in Jersey, which, sidebar, WWE, it wasn't in the shadow of New York. It was in what?
WrestleMania? Was it actually WrestleMania, or was it like a thing like you had where no, like, I got WrestleMania tickets for $50?
No, he got them for 25, and his seats were $25 tickets.
Okay.
No. When they were advertising it, New York would be like in the shadow, or WWE would be like in the shadow of New York. You're like, no, it is in New Jersey. You didn't pay for fucking New York. You paid for fucking Jersey.
Yeah, you don't get New York advertising.
No, you're not with your main bitch. You're with your side slut, and let everyone fucking know.
But he had like nosebleed. He like got $25 WrestleMania.
Dude, I think he got the last seat. Like,
it was like at the top.
Bro, he was showing me pictures he took, and like they have a jumbotron that basically just shows you what you see if you watch the pay-per-view. So he just,
how much is the pay-per-view?
Well, at the you just pay for the app. You pay like $10-$20 a month.
They used to be, in my day, they were about $40, I think. But whatever.
Yeah, no. For a while was the WWE Network. Now they're over on Peacock, and it's like $10 a month for the whole streaming.
So service. So he could have just saved $15. He probably paid for parking too, right? Probably paid for $13 beers.
Dude, it was cracking me up because I was like looking at it, and every single picture he showed me was of the jumbotron, and I just wanted to be like.
You just sent him a picture of your TV.
Like, I was just like, I saw this. This is the TV. I saw all of these things already. Oh, and he did the funniest shit. He showed me like 4 pictures. He was like scrolling through, and I was scrolling through, and I was like, I saw like 4 of them of just the fucking jumbotron, and I was like, oh yeah, that's really cool, man. And I go to hand his phone back, bro. He pushes my hand back. He goes, "There's more pictures." It was insane. He pushed the phone back and
You just
said,
like, you don't break eye contact with him. You're like, I know.
I should have, dude. I should have grown a sack and done that. That was crazy. He pushed the phone back and goes, "There's more pictures of the Jumbotron."
Yeah. Okay. You
I'm
just
just like, "Oh yeah, I saw that on the WWE Network. I saw that on the WWE Network." It was crazy.
I've never, so like that was my thing with like football games. I would like to, like, we've talked about this in the past. I would love to see a UFC fight at some point, but I also I don't want to go to any UFC fights I can afford right now. So I can, unless I'm specifically invited by some fucking VIP at some point, I want to wait for that. I think it would be the same with like WWE or something like that for most people. Like
Yeah.
most football games I've been to have been, actually, I got really lucky one year at a Miami Dolphins game. I got to see them against the Browns in the lower bowl one year. That is pretty fucking cool. When you are that close, that is pretty fucking cool. But
Nice.
but I sat in my original seats before we got the text that says, "Hey, there's some empty seats near us." It is when we were up at the top, we were almost at the fucking last row, and I was like, "This sucks. I can't even tell which teams are which." This is great, and they didn't. They had one screen, but it was like on the far end still, so it was still like this big. So it was like there's certain areas that I think are, for me, for music performances, like, unless I know that there's going to be something else. Like, I know that Foo Fighters is going to be a really expensive ticket, but I feel like I've missed the opportunity to see them in the venue I would like to see them. But
Yeah.
I know that even if I do pay
And
that
with the
premium,
drummer you'd want to see.
yeah, I missed my opportunity.
R.I.P. T-Dog.
The whole band. But if I want to see the Foo
Those
Fighters,
songs are gonna sound weird without drums.
yeah, I don't understand how they're gonna do Monkey Wrench. Like, he counts it off. Like, they're just gonna go, all right, this one's called Monkey Wrench.
All
Oh yeah.
right.
Well, all right. How about
I got another.
it's just gonna be that song and then they're done.
There's usually drums right there. Where? Oh.
Oh.
All right. R.I.P. T-Dog. This has
Replaceable.
been great. Guys, check out all our shit. Pat, Baby Mermaid Productions, on all the shit, all of his other podcasts. You guys know what the fuck I do. Until next time, I love you all. Yeah, shut up. Fuck you.
See you next week. Bye.